I'm currently writing up messages to send to each patron because we're coming up on the next obligation for shirts.
Cool.
So, but I need to get people's sizes first.
Oh, have they?
So
We hadn't
patrons
gotten.
who are listening to this, check your emails.
Yeah, exactly. If you're a patron and you're listening, check your dang messages. Not that that's an issue yet, but you'll be seeing a message saying, "Hey, we kind of need to know your shirt size."
Give us your shirt size. Do. Ah.
Gobble, gobble, Drew.
Oh dear.
Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I'll be right back.
That's right. Mom wanted to check in with me today.
Is she calling you?
Not at the moment.
Oh, okay.
So, I got this really fun holder thing for my tablet to where I can now I could technically also put my phone in it, but right now I'm just going to use it for my tablet. Because what I want to do is I want to have the chat over here. That way I can keep an eye on it. Actually, maybe I'll put it over here. Where'd my phone go? There's my phone. We'll see. Gadgets.
All right, I'm trying to knock these messages out. Thank goodness for copy paste.
It is a wonderful thing.
Send. New one is.
By the way, doing kind of a completely random comment, but I'm loving Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor.
Really?
Oh, good.
She is so good. She is crazy. And somebody just kind of pointed out kind of like her similarities to David Tennant. I'm like, oh yeah, totally. It's like the female version of David Tennant almost.
Interesting. Huh.
There was a recent collection of GIFs on Tumblr that I really thought was cute, and it was Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, and Jodie Whittaker at their table read for the very first episode of the new season when they became the Doctor. And so it's 6 GIFs. Each one gets 2, each person. And the first one is when they announce that they are who their name is and that they play the Doctor. And then the next one is their immediate reaction after saying it. So you get Matt Smith, and then you get Peter Capaldi, and you get Jodie Whittaker. It's really cute, and Jodie's is kind of awesome because she's like, "I'm Jodie Whittaker, and I play the Doctor." She does like this kind of fist thing. Yeah. I mean, they're all, but I was like, yay! I don't really watch the show, but I get the importance of it, so it's fun. All right, that's puzzling. Why is that person not? Dun, 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 dun.
My...
That's that. And who's next? Oh, oops. Where to send?
I keep looking back at the couch to check on Sonic.
Oh. Oh. How do I...
Eric. Yeah.
Do.
What in the world? Facebook, you drunk?
Huh?
Not even Facebook. It's Amazon.
What?
I just got an email notification about a shipment, and I'm like, I already got it. Like the product arrived yesterday.
Your package is coming. Bitch, it already came.
Well, yeah, I'm like,
Out of context, that clip.
yeah, exactly. Like the notification, pops down and it's from email and it says, it's from Amazon and that my package is on its, shipment's on its way. It tells you briefly in the 3 sentences. I catch the product name and it's arriving Tuesday, and I went, but it just got here yesterday. Unless they're sending more, now I'm concerned. I'm like, did I order double by accident?
Oh no.
No, we'll see. Okay, now I gotta go looking real quick at some patron information because
Something else. Uh-huh. Well, there's that.
Well,
that's strange. If we haven't sent person a message in Patreon before, like you got to go directly to find the person and then send that message. You can't send it straight from the messaging part.
Interesting.
Send. I'm like, what the frick? Oh. Didn't know that part of the data. In one section, you can see all the patrons and not only like their monthly, but also how much they've given over a lifetime.
Premature shipping.
Could be.
Sorry, I'm just reading the chat and seeing the answers.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing is, like, I debated on getting the thing via Prime, even though I pay for Prime.
It's that free, you get a credit for a thing.
Yes, I'm like sort of fanatical about like I really rethink and I go, do I need it like in 2 days or can I wait for it to be here a couple days? Because they stopped trying to offer me things that I don't want. Like they were offering me credit towards like pantry and home services and just all sorts of goofy stuff. And I think they finally figured out like, nope, he just wants the $1 digital credit. Just be done with it. So
I actually did that with some silicone cupcake cups or muffin cups. You get that like set of 12 cupcake muffin tin. Well, you can get that in silicone, which I'm gonna absolutely love when Christmas comes around, when I make my own blueberry muffins, because then I could just pop them out and not have to worry about it actually ending up sticking to the pan. It'll be a lot easier cleanup.
Oh yeah, I love those like easy wipe things that you can just like. Oh, here you go.
Well, this will be literally. I'll take them out of the oven. I'll probably still have to use like a cookie sheet to kind of like.
Yeah.
Move them because those silicone things are flexible. But when I pull them out, I can let them cool a bit, and they'll just like literally pop out of the tin or pop out of the pan. So
okay, Amazon is not drunk. I am not awake yet.
Okay, so you haven't gotten it yet?
Well, there are two similar products. They're for my dad, and I ordered them, one Prime, one non-Prime, and I confused the two of them. And there's my email for my promotional credit. And the whole reason why I'm kind of focusing on promotional credits right now is because, yay, there's an album coming out in about a week or so by an artist that I really enjoy. And so I'm going to get their whole freaking album for free.
Yay.
at that stuff. Yay.
So, all right. Patrons has been messaged. I think that takes care of that, and I can. Oh, I'm still gonna be a poop about that. Whatever. All right. Are we all camera ready?
I literally just got out of bed, made coffee, and came to the computer. So.
Well, what I meant was like to start the show.
He's about as camera ready as he's gonna get.
I'm not gonna do much work. I set an alarm for 7:30 this morning, and it went off, and I woke up briefly, and then my 9 o'clock alarm went off.
I understand that. I set my alarm for. What did I set it for? I set it for 9:30, and I had another one set for 10, just as a backup, because I knew me, and I was up late last night, and I thought, because if I sleep in, especially if late, I sleep in. Like, I don't fall back off to sleep and then wake up like 10, 15 minutes later. I don't wake up for a while, like an hour and a half.
You're a relatively sound sleeper.
Yeah, well, and I mean, when you're up, what time is not relative,
right?
Because you're up late because you don't have anything specific, It's
that you have to be up for.
Yeah. It's funny. I'm like, I got up at I set my alarm for 9 and I was up at 7:30 because my body just like is so used to being up that early. Whatever. So I woke up, went to the restroom, came back, laid down. Alarm went off at 9:05, and 9:10. I got up at 9:10 and got showered, got dressed, and then came down here. Once I'm awake, I'm awake. But sometimes you want to just like lay in bed. That's what I do. Play on my phone, do all the fun stuff. Yep.
Oh, that is muted. Oh, that's not muted. Anyways. Should we? Shall we?
Yes. Let's.
All right, hold on. Bulk sound. One of these days, they're going to do this right.
One of these days, Alice. One of these days.
Switch over to this. Do that. It's the 25th. All right. So sound check. Okay.
Heard it.
Mm-hmm.
By your reaction, I figured so. All right, here we go. In 3, 2. November 25th, 2018. I'm Jeff.
Who's your bear? That's right. I am your bear.
I'm Damon.
I don't brew the tea, I just serve it.
And that makes me Gary.
Don't hurt nobody with your bad self.
And welcome to Cubs Out Loud, the Bear Podcast of Ed and Sherman Length, episode number, what number is it? 488. And, I'm just going to say what a month it's been. So do you want the good news or the bad news first?
It's up to you how you want to go through.
All right, so
I'm going
to start good news, and then I'm going to make everybody cry who doesn't know already. So, first off, the kind of dull news to most people. I've unlocked the current latest unled races in World of Warcraft. So I got me a Makar Orc and a Dark-Eyed Dwarf. They have been created. I just need to get them into the appropriate guilds and start leveling them up so I can get their heritage armor transmogs and have more characters to my alt army. And I'll be ever getting closer to having at least 3 of each class. I already have 2 of the class that only has 2 specs, and when the next set of allied races comes out, I unlock those. My druids, which have 4 specs, I'll have 1 for each spec. So I had 1 of each class in each faction, and now I'm working towards 1 of each spec. So that's going to be interesting. And I'm going to have an alt army. I have plans. 2, also good news. I have a date on Wednesday.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like this, this is not being shady. I'm just clarifying. A legit date? Like
We are going to Pluckers.
Okay.
He is
that doesn't make Pluckers is a restaurant?
Yeah, it's like Buffalo Wild Wings. It's a wing joint.
I presumed that, David. I know you wanted to be sure. We're going to a farm. We're going to defeather some chickens.
No, we're going to eat chicken wings.
Lovely.
Yeah. I really prefer the boneless chicken wings. Chicken wings are just like chicken nuggets, but still, they're good. They're tasty, and I find them easier to eat.
It's funny that you say that because this month went out to dinner with a bunch of friends, and someone sitting next to me had a choice between bone or boneless chicken wings. The price was the same per pound.
Oh, that's good.
And I was like, so they ordered the bone in, and later I thought, you should have ordered a boneless. Like, you would have got more food, so to speak. But to each their own.
I think the wings are still dark meat, like the bone in are dark meat, while the boneless are white meat.
Well, technically, if it's a wing,
dark meat more than white meat.
It should be a white meat. It's just more like it's on the bone, so it's for some people. Bone in wings are more flavorful because the meat is on the bone, and you get more meat from the bone or marrow or whatever. It's mostly tasty.
There's reasoning behind it.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
I mean, I can still eat those. I just prefer the convenience of the boneless. That's all.
Well, some people just can't help but put a bone in their mouth, so Yeah,
totally. What the hell was that?
But
and also it means that he's going to buy me a beer, which I really could use after my bad news. Yesterday, I had to put Sonnet down.
Oh.
And there's many reasons to it. We didn't quite know entirely what was wrong, but all we know is that she couldn't breathe or was having trouble breathing. She was taking hard, labored, wheezy breaths. She was fine in the morning until we went for a walk, and I took her to the vet, and when they told me, like, for just trying to figure out what was wrong, it would be like over $2,000 minimum.
Yeah.
I don't have that money.
Yeah.
And even if they could figure it out, they kind of had the idea that even if they were able to figure out and treat it, it might require continued treatment. So, they would stabilize it, and then maybe, probably like a pill or something to help with something. And there's a possibility that even in one of the cases, if they were to resolve the breathing issue, she would almost guaranteed get pneumonia.
Mm-mm.
So in some sense, it would just get worse. Just
Yeah.
she would just have longer time. So I and because of my monetary situation, I had to go with the cheapest option. It was probably the best option, and I was put her down. And I was there for the whole time. And Gary being the nice guy, but damn it, made a video. So if you go over to our YouTube channel and go into the highlights section, then I put it there just to make it easy to find. So he put in a little remembrance video, which made me cry.
Yeah. It was it's never easy. And it's been one of my biggest like personal hesitations in regards to this. I don't deal with this well, if at all. And I can't imagine having to deal with it. And so I don't like, I know it sounds, maybe it's selfish, but it's just how I feel about it. But we bring these, I forget how the quote goes, like for like you, they're just a part of your life, but for them, they're your whole world. It's very, I forget how the quote goes. It's a very interesting, and it's just, it's sad, but you know, as you mentioned, she had lived a very wonderful life, and you took very good care of her, and you loved her and
very
loved
good
you.
care of her, but
You took
good
care
enough.
of her. You took care of her. You loved her. You gave her walks. You gave her pets. You gave her food. You gave her shelter. Yeah. And then you get that support and that love. And I know it's never, as I said, it's never easy to lose someone like that. But yeah, we all have to make those decisions. And there you go.
Yeah. I had her in my lap as they were doing it, and I even sang my Sonnet Blues song. You're my sonnet, my sonnet blues. You're my sonnet, and I love yous. You're my sonnet, wanna, super boopers, boopers, scoopers. You're my sonnet blues. Of course, I was doing that in more of a cry sort of way, and singing it slower, but it's my sonnet blues song. So she's not over there, but I had to do like the communal thing, so I don't have any ashes or anything. But $222. Fortunately, had that money, but that's also money I don't have anymore. But also, I don't have to buy dog food anymore.
For now.
So, well, probably for a while, because
I know.
right now I'm not gonna bring another puppy into my life unless I have a much more stable financial thing where I can really feel like I can really take care of them well, and I'll probably try to get one, but
understandable.
Jeff, I was just curious because I could personally not recall.
Mm-hmm.
How old was Sonnet?
13 or 14.
Right, and so when you moved, if I recall from what I could put together about your life, your timeline, you moved down to Austin, Texas to move in with Carl, and had Scout at the time, your other dog, and then moved in, and so Sonnet was already with Carl for, let's see if it's 18. So she was like 2 at the time?
She was about 3.
Okay.
Scout and Sonnet are basically the same age, but Sonnet was born like a couple months earlier. Or at least they think so, because they really don't know because they found her, but it's beside the point. But they were approximately the same age, so.
Yeah. So, because I what I did, so people know, I was like, oh, I'm not sure how to handle this. So because I feel for you. I mean, I know that, and it's one of those things. Like I thought about it, and I was like, Sonnet's been with you your entire time in Texas. And so I was like, wow, like that's really important and impactful because you spent, your time living there with, another soul in your home, so to speak. And I was like, this is really important. And you've referenced Sonnet on the podcast forever. And that's not a criticism, it's just one of those things. So I was like, in a way, Sonnet's like the like semi-silent, unofficial fifth chair, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know how to phrase it. So I was like, well, I want to somehow make some recognition. And then I was like, okay. So then, of course, because we're friends on Facebook, I went through almost all your photos. No offense. And was like, just looking at pictures of Sonnet. And then that's how I kind of remembered and learned more about Scout. Because I was like, oh, there's this other cute, adorable black and white puppy. And then I was like, that's not Sonnet though. Like because you did a flashback from earlier this year, and I think in the past year or two. So then I was doing this whole like, wait, which one's which? Because then there were some pictures, and I wanted to make sure I didn't kind of mess up. So anyways, I just
the white on his nose, and Sonnet does not.
Yeah. So yeah. So anyways, I turned around and I downloaded a bunch of pictures from Facebook, and then because I was trying to do it super quick without feeling like I was going to spend a whole working day trying to put something together in iMovie, because while I like iMovie, it's very tedious. So instead I was like, all right, let me try to make a quick slideshow thingy and make a little type video or whatever. And it was funny because it's kind of like, at least for me, it's like, oh, I'm just going to bake some brownies. But then I was like, nope, can't be normal brownies. Got to put shit in the brownies. Then I gotta make a homemade frosting. Then I gotta do this other thing. And like before I know it, it's like, so that's what happened. Because I was like, all right, I'm just gonna throw some pictures together. Well, I should probably put some text in. Okay, and then I gotta fix the animation. Well, I need music. Like it just kept growing. So I was working on it.
In other words, it was very Gary.
Yeah, or like, well, and then David reached out to me last night, having no clue what I had been doing, and he sent me a message, and he's like, "Did you see Jeff's post?" And I could tell it was Damon being like, "Fuck," like this is one of the worst things ever. And then I was like, "I've been working on something." Yeah, I saw it. Like, and I wasn't trying to be dismissive, but it was really funny because right when you messaged me was right when I was about to post it. So I posted to Facebook and to our Telegram chat.
Yeah, and then I knew about it like before you said anything, because of course I also have the Cubs Out Loud email. And there was a specific notification about the music.
Yeah, because so here's the kicker. I went and paid for the song. I own it, and you could use
basically got the license to use it.
Right, Creative Commons license, and freaking YouTube pinged it before it was done processing. So I uploaded the video. And because it's short, it's not like a whole podcast episode, like an hour and a half, 2 hours, which takes forever to upload to YouTube. I was like, oh god, this is like going really quick. And then I saw the notification about the email, and I was like, are you kidding me? Because then I was like, motherfucker, because I had
spoilers.
Well, I had a feeling because I mean,
title it doesn't. They didn't take it down or anything. It's still there. It's just.
No, basically what they've done, so for those that don't know, a little behind the curtain thing. So when we do our COLDR, Damon, our drag race show, we tend to get flagged because I'm using snippets of songs that belong to Mama Roo. And so YouTube's like, hey, that's copyrighted content. And all it does is it just lets us know that we have copyrighted content. And then that's like it. And basically what's happening on the front end or the back end for them is if any ad revenue comes through, they're going to get a penny. But in the history of the podcast being on YouTube, I think, Jeff, we didn't even clear $1 like in ad revenue or something.
We're not that popular of a channel.
Yeah. So it just kind of cracks
we ain't getting anything anymore.
Well, yeah, YouTube totally restructured ad revenue and everything because we get nothing. Like we never got anything. We're never gonna get anything. So when
Never
those
gonna get
notifications
it,
come
never
through, I'm
gonna.
like, haha, that's very funny. Yeah, get
That's
nothing
sweet.
out of us.
That's sweet. That's nice. Thanks
Yeah.
for thinking we can like
We are
you're gonna get some.
supporting the artists we are showing on this show.
Yes.
Well, and I try to attribute like so we're not trying to get away with something. And then YouTube cracks me up and it's like, would you like some free music? You can look through our library. And I was like, why? So we can sound like every other like video on YouTube?
And to be fair, there
Where's
are
my shade fan?
other shows. There are other shows like, for example, the morning stream also gets the content block too. But the same thing happened because they play music, which, by the way, Brian Ibbett has paid for to ASCAP. Has gone through the full whole thing.
Yeah.
He is totally allowed to do it, just like any radio station would be able to.
Right.
And they still flag it because of an automated system. And
That's how they. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
It's fine.
I get it.
So,
But yeah,
we're fine. Everything's fine.
So it just cracks me up when we get these little pigs about, copyrighted content. I'm
as long
like,
as the
yes.
video doesn't go down, that's all we really care for.
Well, but my thing is I'm like, we know this. We're not trying to get away with something. You know what I mean? And like keep money from the artist or whatever. Every time we've like, used that, it's like it's referenced, it's understood, it's listed, it's we're not it's not like, "Ooh, I'm gonna use this," and like keep, people from knowing what the source is. We've had artists on here, we've interviewed them, we're highly supportive. So, the only thing we haven't done, because we're trying to be nice, is not hit up all our artist friends and be like, "Hey, could you give us some free music?"
yeah.
For stuff.
Because even if we played it on the show, we would still get that copyright claim.
Well, if they wrote original stuff,
Right.
Yeah.
that is what I mean. But anyways,
That's why.
so there's that.
Still using music from GarageBand.
Jeff, can I ask you about something that happened, I think, this month?
Sure.
You took a vacation?
Oh,
Ish?
yes.
You went up north?
I went up to see my parents because they paid for the entire trip.
And
they had a 50th wedding anniversary.
yay.
And finally, I got pictures of me and my cousins. Because, like, several years ago, like 10 years ago or something, it was before I moved down, I think, my cousin Paul got married. And we had all the cousins there, so we got a group picture of the cousins, and we then took another group picture here at this one. So
Nice.
of the Briggs cousins, my mom's side of it, and we also got most of my dad's side. It was me. It was me, my brother and sister, and two of my aunt of the Wings.
Nice.
Kids, Jim and Lisa, but Dan was down in Arizona for the time, so he wasn't there to be in the picture. But my uncle Ed, who has this, the one kind of like thing about Uncle Ed that I always remember is that whenever you shake his hand, he crushes your hand.
Oh,
Mhm.
God.
He always used to do that. So when I saw him, I'm like, Ed, I go shake his hand, and something's wrong. My hand doesn't hurt.
Oh.
So I'm like, Uncle Ed, you're losing your grip. Which, being that he's old, you could also think of it as a different type of grip. So there was a nice little kind of pun there. And then eventually, 6 months later, he tried to crush my hand. Still, it was not as crushy as normal. Either that or my hand got stronger. I don't know what to do. But it was a good time seeing some people. There was some people from our old church down in Rochester. One of them who knew me well had a stroke since the last time she saw, and she didn't remember me at all.
Oh.
And it was very sad, but it was fun.
Had a good time.
I got to see my parents' new place because they have moved recently.
Oh.
I got to sleep in my old twin bed,
Oh.
which is awkward going from a king size bed down here to a twin size bed.
I was just gonna say, I bet that was an adjustment.
Yeah. But it was all right.
Oh.
I slept well, so that's the important part. But it was a good time.
Yay. Fun,
Cool.
fun.
So after talking about 20 minutes about me, Damon, what's been going on with you?
Well, I will try my best to kind of keep it short-ish. So since I wasn't on the last show because of my trip to DC, I went on. Okay. The weekend after my trip to DC, I went to chorus retreat with the Cincinnati Men's Chorus, and it was fun. It's always a good time to get away, and the place where we go is good distance away from the city, and it's just nice to kind of like commune together and sing together and rehearse. We're really on track for the holiday concert. It's going to be really awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. We also I found out a lot of things over the weekend. People definitely still like to drink when they go on retreat. Chorus members like to get drunk. Not me per se. I did have a really nice drink. I had a a Canadian Club apple and ginger ale, which was really, really good. I could see, actually, I haven't thought about that. I wonder if I could combine it with ginger beer.
Yes.
Anyway, so idea. So
we know you're a lightweight.
Yeah, I can have one. That's pretty when I didn't have one. I had a baby cup, like yay big of a cup because I forgot.
Wait. You just put up like 6 to 8 inches and call that a baby cup?
It was like a 16-ounce like baby coffee cup. It was $1 at the dollar store because I had forgotten to bring one of my own. So I had to find something, and this was the only thing I could find at the dollar store that we stopped at. I call it baby because it was in comparison to what other people were having, like like the water bottles and like the big mugs that you get like at the convenience store to get like coffee in.
Oh yeah, where there's like a half gallon and you're like,
yeah,
geez.
like no, people drinking out of those things. Like I said, people got drank. There was also a lot.
Maybe you should introduce the chorus to the Power Hour next year for the retreat.
There you go.
No, you don't.
You can be the DD.
Right, you DD, you lead it. But the rest of the chorus has to drink, drunk for 60 minutes. And what I think would be awesome is after every drink, every minute, you sing like the whole chorus, and everyone just keeps dropping out. Who makes it to the end?
Just trying to do a 60-second, song, or even just a 30-second little song. Just ding dong. I am drink, drunk. I am drink, drunk. I am drink, drunk. Thunk. Yeah, song for you.
I would love this social experiment. I want to know who can last to the end. Is it the basses, the tenors, the sopranos, the altos?
Oh my God, no. Okay.
Weigh everybody, and then find out if there is and then get statistics about weight and who gets knocked out first.
Make it like an experiment. Like, okay, you are 40 years old, 210 pounds, 5'6". You lasted well, I don't know.
50 drinks.
You lasted 50 shots.
And instead of them staying in their section by voice, you'll probably have to reorganize everybody by preference of beverage. Because some of them are going to be like, I'm only drinking wine, and I'm going to drink beer or whatever. And it's like, all right, well, in order to be able to get to the beverage, you're going to have to like rearrange yourselves to, at tables or something like that. And then
just get a kegerator and be ready to swap out if you have too many people.
Oh my God. No, thank you. Oh, you've now made it officially too much work.
I will come bartend just to be able to watch the craziness of it. I think that would be.
I have no idea.
Because then the challenge is every 15 minutes, can they harmonize? That would.
I am drinking.
Oh my God. So anyway,
Owen in the live chat says he's calling it now that the bases would last longer.
I know of a couple that were holding their liquor pretty fucking well all weekend. So yeah, I'm okay. There were a couple of tenors though that can probably hold their own too. Not one though, which I'll get to in a second. So there was one little cubby tenor who's adorable, and he's young and he's kind of new and he's newly out and all that stuff. And I feel like I was like mama, daddy, like bear or whatever, which seems weird to me. But and he was drinking maple bourbon straight.
That shit will fuck you up.
It did. It did.
Was he a sloppy cubby?
No. He was very much. He held his own. Don't get me wrong, but you could tell like when things started drifting off, and he was.
So he weeble wobbled.
Yeah, he weeble wobbled a lot, and
but he didn't fall down.
No, he did not fall down. He almost fell down, but he was very much. He stayed on his feet for most of the night, and
damn. I was waiting for the part where you said his feet went in the air, but anyway.
No.
Every year you talk about this retreat, and I keep thinking about the debauchery that doesn't happen.
Oh, it could happen. It just doesn't always happen to me.
Whoa! You heard it here first, peeps. I was. Look at you, flying fresh. Every year you talk about
doesn't happen to me.
And all I keep thinking is, it sounds like a fucking orgy in a cabin in the woods. I know it's not, but every year I'm like, this is the making of a porn. It really is.
Mean, I could probably
tell tales.
No, I don't know if I could tell tales. I'm not.
No,
that
I don't
kind
mean
of person.
that you would, but you have the knowledge.
I have some knowledge of some things that go on. I have plenty of things that people tell me about, and I'm not saying I've been a saint at retreat. But I'm just saying that it's men of gay, bi, transsexual nature getting together all by themselves, not pretty much all by themselves, but for the most part, we take over this hotel with the exception of a few families and stuff. So,
oh man,
and it's in the middle of nowhere.
That's
freaking like estate in the woods that had all these little cabins and
it's not that bad. It's a hotel. It's kind of a hotel. I mean, it's big and it's in a park. It's the saying. It happens. It happens, and things happen, and people get together and
behind closed doors.
Go to someone's room and.
Owen says, "Shit, band camp is getting randy."
Yeah, it does.
This one time that was at band camp.
This one time at the Gay Men's Chorus retreat.
Yeah, I mean, trust it. There's only some. I mean, once the liquor falls and people start losing their inhibitions, I mean, surely someone is doing something, and it's okay as long as everyone's okay with it. And
oh my God, I need to turn my brain off. No, because now I have this imagination of this little tenor cubby guy getting pounded. Make me sing like a soprano. Anyways.
Anyway. So there was that retreat of itself. And then I just recently came home from my annual trip to Thanksgiving with my family, which was kind of fun. Went down on Wednesday and came back yesterday Saturday, and it was a very decent trip. Thanks to one of my second cousins who's who hosted again this year, and my brother was the one who was picking me up. My mother's car had gotten damaged in recent ice storms here in the area, so she couldn't drive it. So it was mostly my brother picking me up and taking me places and all that stuff. And so he was late because he overextended himself making deep fried turkeys. Because apparently, if anyone finds out that you have the ability to make a deep fried turkey, they will pay whatever for you to do it for, as opposed to doing it themselves. So my brother,
it's kind of dangerous.
I know it's kind of dangerous.
Make sure you got
Well, not everybody
you got to make
has
a turkey
the
derrick
ability.
is probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, but so I just don't want to. So he overextended himself. He ended up having to make 4, and instead of making like a couple the day before, or the ones that weren't his family the day before, and then ours the day of, he made all 4 of them on the day on Thanksgiving. Now, obviously, it doesn't necessarily take as long to deep fry them, blah blah blah, whatever. But still, it took a minute, and he had an issue with one that was too big and caused a whole big mess that he had to clean up. So we got there late, and the family was all like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Well, this happened. You can't blame him for wanting to make some extra money when." And so there was that, and it was good. Don't get me wrong. The turkey was amazing, and it was nice because it was warm, and oh, it was so good.
I'm like, I don't see David saying to his family, listen, it's simple, it's physics. When you got more meat than what you can fit in where it's going, you're gonna have a problem.
Yes, true that.
Village.
Yes, some things come out. And then, so part of this new this year was we were going to have a spades tournament, which went pretty well. Me and my cousin Sean made it to the final round, but we got beat out by a family member and one of my cousins. I'm gonna, because I doubt he'll ever hear this show, so I'm gonna put it out here now. He is the ex-boyfriend, baby daddy of my cousin's, 2 of my cousin's children.
Okay.
And he wasn't here last year, and he just happened to show up. Maybe he was. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Fuck him. And he just happened to show up, and he was all like, I need someone who's cutthroat and plays spades. And he had someone, and he's a talker. He's one of those ones that will just like talk and talk and talk and try to get, he's not necessarily getting under your skin, but he's just annoying as hell. And it got to the point where I was so done that I was quiet.
Girl, that's not a good sign.
So when I
just
can't
did the gay gasp. I didn't even need to play the sound. Jeez.
When I am quiet, I'm over it officially with you.
Wow.
So, and that's pretty much how I played the game. Me and my partner, my cousin, were I played quiet. Like, I knew what I needed to get done, and I said what needed to be said, and that was it. And he was over here talking shit. And yeah, they won, but only because we made one small error and didn't make our book, so we went behind. And if we hadn't made that, or instead of making a number, we might have been able to give them a run for the money. But it's okay. We'll win next year. Trust.
The friendly competition of a family gathering at Thanksgiving.
And alcohol.
And alcohol.
Oh boy.
That was the new thing this year, was that we had drinks, and my cousin Nita should never be a bartender, ever. She is such a heavy pourer.
No, that means she should always be the bartender.
No, No, like a bartender in like a bar, like when you're trying to save liquor.
Oh, where you trying to make a profit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a heavy pourer. I didn't get a drink, mostly because I wasn't really feeling it. I love my family a lot, but I don't need to be inhibitionless around family.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. But that's me. Gary, how are you?
So this month had a bunch of things in it. My birthday was at the top of the month.
Happy
So there was
birthday.
a surprise birthday dinner.
Yay.
Drew came into town for the weekend. He got here, I think, on Friday. We did some running around. And then Saturday, we'd gone out and we'd come back. And because there had been snow in that, like, I kept changing out of my jeans through the weekend because the bottoms of them would get like wet or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not sitting around in that. So I changed it as like sweatpants or whatever and, curl up on the couch and, we'd have TV on or whatever. So Saturday, he kind of lost track of time and he sort of sits up quickly towards the edge of the couch and then kind of like stands. And his body language is completely seeming typical and a little awkward. And I'm just like, okay, something's up. And he's like, so I lost track of time and we need to go. And like, it was kind of funny. And I was like, okay. And he's like, so I told Peter and Michael, I invited them and they're going to meet us. And I was like, so then it all clicks. I'm like, got it. Like there are people waiting on us to arrive. We'd be late. So, so I turned around and, go back upstairs, put my jeans on, put some goop in my hair, and then so we took off, and we leave, and it's 6 o'clock, and I'm driving, and I said, "What time are we supposed to be there?" And he's like, "Oh, we're fine." And I'm thinking, like. So, anyways, we get there, and sure enough, Michael and Peter were there. But what I did not know was that Steve and Fred came in from Rochester. And so they were there at dinner. And then also, I didn't know Tara and Heather came up from Pittsburgh.
Wow.
And they were delayed. Yeah. So I had a bunch of besties in for the weekend. So we sat and ate. And the server was kind of stressed. I don't know what it is about my city. I'm going to go off on a tangent for like about a minute. The servers in my city, for some reason, ain't got no barrier. Like if Heather was to listen to this, she would understand what exactly I'm talking about. There is no buffer between a brain and a mouth. Like they think it, and the shit just comes out of their orifice. So she's there, and she's like, "I'm really sorry. The kitchen's kind of screwed up, and like we're short staffed on the floor." Like she's just like word vomiting her stress to us, and I'm sitting there thinking, I don't care. Like it's helpful information because I like to have the 411, but girl, just do your job. Like do it well, do it a hustle. Get your shit done. Like, it ain't that big a deal. But, and on top of it, it's like, you don't have to tell us, you don't have to spill all the tea. You just need to say, I apologize. We're doing the best we can. We're a little busier than expected, or someone had to call off, and just stop. Not throw the kitchen under the bus every single time you come to the table. It seemed. So anyways, we had a dinner and it was nice. And then we had to leave because we were going to the movies. And so most of us went and saw Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yay.
I really liked it. Since then, I've thought a bunch about it. It is not a documentary, and it is not a authentic biopic. So for those that want to go see the movie, enjoy it. If you're looking for authenticity, park that to the side a little bit, because there are some things that didn't happen in the order that they did and the way they kind of portrayed a couple of stuff. It's not egregious lies. It's movie making. And then afterwards we came back to my place, Drew and I. It was funny because at one point I put on the Live Aid actual concert footage of Queen with Freddie Mercury. And I said, well, that's something they got wrong, or they didn't get right in the movie. And Drew's like, what do you mean? I was like, the pants. So then he's watching and he's watching and he's watching, and it takes a while. And all of a sudden there's this one camera angle and he goes, oh, that was not the movie. And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure on that day, Freddie Mercury put a cock ring on. Because, oh yeah, if you watch it on YouTube, the man is wearing tight pants from the 80s, and there's not a lot left of the imagination sometimes.
Oh my.
No.
I was like, the man was nicely blessed. So yeah, that was
Blessed.
Freddie Malik. On the
A
other hand, in the
fan.
movie, not the same. Just for the record, because we would have remembered that, you know. So saw that, and then I treated myself, and I went out on opening night, and I went and saw Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. Even though I've only read the first 7 books and then saw all the movies, I haven't read. Well, that's not true. I own a copy of The Cursed Child, the play that she wrote, which is a kind of a Harry Potter continuation. But so I went into the movie because it's like I like this universe, all this stuff. I personally liked it a lot. I liked it so much that I came home and I posted on Facebook about it, and I reblogged J.K. Rowling's tweet in which she said, you know, thanks to all the thousands of fans who have already seen the film and hashtag keep the secrets, because there's some stuff that happens in the movie that people aren't really talking about, including the very last things said, like in the dialogue at the very end of the whole film. Yeah, it's like a big old bomb that goes off. And I was just like, yeah, I kind of have to agree. I was very proud of the fandom that they're like not spilling the tea on stuff. But since then, some people have been like posting some YouTube videos talking about, there's questions about what the hell went on in that movie. It's kind of funny because people are like, I like this and I don't understand that. And my cousin and I got into a huge conversation over Thanksgiving, late post dinner, about it because she and her husband went and saw it. And this is what it comes down to. And this isn't really a criticism, but it's a truth. If you have not read the books, only saw the movies, and have no understanding of the universe, like even worse, you haven't seen any of the Harry Potter stuff or read the books, these movies will not make much sense to you, the Fantastic Beasts series. There's a large presumption from the director and even from JK that you understand what's happening. So they don't explain certain things. They don't there's lots of like cross-reference and Easter egg and like just behind the scenes stuff that you didn't understand how magic works and what's going on. Like even my cousin didn't know, and this isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailer, in a part of the film there are thestrals, which are the black winged like kind of Pegasus style horses.
I see thestrals.
Right, but only you can see them if you've like had a cross reference to death or whatever. But anyways, that's what's pulling the carriage. Like anyway, yeah. So it's just one of these things that my cousin was like, oh, like so I kept explaining a lot of stuff to her, and it's so funny because we're sitting at the table, half the family's left at Thanksgiving, and she and I are having this entire conversation without having a conversation because we're trying not to spoil anything in front of any other family members about certain stuff.
Nice.
So yeah. So anyways, so I saw those 2 movies. Maybe today I might go treat myself and go see Wreck-It Ralph 2. Because I really, really, really want to see it. And because I sort of have a fetish for Ralph. Anyways.
He's gonna wreck it.
Thank you, Tumblr, for all the stuff that goes with that. So yeah, so I saw a couple movies this month, and then I got a phone call on Monday last week to set up a job interview.
Yay!
And it was funny because it's the job that I applied for that I really want, that I'm really interested in, that I think everything lines up for it. And when I spoke to Jackie, who called, she said, we have 2 open times on Wednesday, or we will have to wait until the week of December 3rd. And I was like, and at first my gut was like, take the 2 weeks, because then I thought it'll give me more time to get ready for the interview and kind of, make sure that I'm on top of my game. And then I was like, wait, but that means everything waits for 2 weeks. Like not only interviewing, but like possible hiring and start work. And I was like, shit. So I was like, all right. So I took the later time of the 2 spots on Wednesday, and then was immediately like, all right, so now I got to get myself cleaned up and, nice shirt and coat, sport jacket and all that shit. So for this particular position. Yeah. So then I went in on Wednesday and I had the interview. I called Heather on Tuesday night and ran through what the job posting said and like had questions for her and thought we were trying to think of what questions they would ask me for the interview based on the position. And then I went in. The interview was at 2. We started at 10. It was only supposed to be an hour, although Jackie told me it usually takes less than an hour. Little does she know me. Well, it's a true story. We started at 10 after, and we ended at about quarter to 20 after 3. So, and I knew that we ran over, and so I apologized to the 2 guys that I interviewed with, and they said that it was fine. They didn't really seem pressed or in a big hurry or whatever. So, yeah. So now it's a wait and see thing. I don't know if there's more interviewing or anything else other than they said it's basically like 2 weeks. Is kind of like the notification announcement type thing. The one thing that was slightly amusing was at that point when I asked that question about like what comes next, how long does it take? The director did say back to me, so if you're offered the position, like what is your turnaround on, availability for acceptance? And I said, oh, so I thought about it for a quick second and I said, probably give me about 24, 48 hours. And he said, oh, okay. And he was really like pleasantly surprised by that. And then I said, well, I don't want to say 5 minutes and lock myself into like, making a decision, flying by the seat of my pants. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see.
Everything crossed.
No, so it was really nice that and Jackie had escorted me in and out of the building because it's county government, so everything's on lockdown. And we had great elevator conversation on the way up and on the way down. I found out that she was going to go shopping at Walmart after she got out of work, which we admitted was kind of crazy on the day before Thanksgiving. But she was doing a one stop, like I'm getting all those things I need for Thanksgiving, and I'm going home and I'm putting on comfy clothes and I'm going to drink wine and listen to music and start making food. And I was like, right on.
Nice.
Sounds like a great evening.
Right. I was like, she got to play it. Like, it's all squared up with that. So then my cousin at Thanksgiving, the one I was talking with the movie about, she actually works in that office, but as a contractor. So she knew like the people that I met with, so to speak. And so it was, so we hobnobbed and talked about work and that kind of thing. Thanksgiving with the family was interesting because I spent it with my dad's family for the first time ever.
Oh.
So here's the story. Dad's family, mom's family. It's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, it's New Year's, it's Easter, it's whatever. Pick a major holiday, and they almost always pick the exact same time to get together, if not within an hour of each other. We're meeting at 2. We're meeting at 3. Or we're also meeting at 2. Whatever. And so I've pretty much gone to mom's family forever. And with dad's age and with his Parkinson's, I was like, you know what? I'll take him. Like, and we'll spend the time together, bring him home and all that jazz. And I knew that it would, kind of be a commitment, which wasn't a big deal. Picked him up at, what was it, like 12:30? Yeah. Got to his place about 12:15. Didn't get him home until almost 10 o'clock at night.
No.
Oh, my God.
And they don't live that far away. So now you understand where, like, some of my personality and my talkativeness comes from. Because it would be that side of the family. Because we sit around and bullshit a lot. And, like, So...
It was a good time, though, right?
It was. My aunt made 2 turkeys because she's crazy. Well, she got one, I think, for really cheap, and she had another one, and she was like, "What?" She was basically like, "F it, I'll cook both."
Make them both.
Right, and then only one. Well, so she has a that new wave infrared countertop.
Mhm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
One of the 2 fit in that one because of the size. The other one was bigger, so it had to go in the oven. Oh, that's the other thing. We went back to the house I grew up in.
Oh.
Wow.
So my aunt, long story short, my great-grandfather had the house built. My grandfather partially grew up in it. And then my great-grandfather sold the house to my dad. My dad and mom lived in it. I was born and raised in it all the way through into my 20s. My parents had divorced when I was younger. Mom sells the house back to the family. My grandparents bought it. My aunt and her one daughter move in. So it has always been in our family. I haven't been back in this house in probably 6 to 7 years for any real length of time until Thanksgiving.
Nice.
And I'm like, this kitchen is tiny. like my kitchen is small, but this kitchen is tiny. And at one point there were 6 of us in it. And I was like,
Lord.
It was so funny. And one of the jokes was one of the family members who has it, who had also kind of returned after being away for a bit, was like, "Am I in the way? I feel like I'm in the way." They kept saying that over and over again, and I was like, part of me
Yes.
wanted to really sass out and be like, "Duh!" Like if you saying it, you is. So like
Yeah.
just go sit in the living room. Yeah. So it was a crazy chaotic thing, and all my cousins, the family kept saying to me is, "You haven't been here for Thanksgiving. You haven't been here for Thanksgiving, have you?" And I was like, "No." And the reason why is because it was a bit pandemonium, and they were trying to gauge whether I was more like my one cousin, who I talked about like with the movie and stuff, because she's more a planner, so everything like needs to be organized.
Mm-hmm.
And then her sister, her younger sister, my other cousin, is perfectly comfortable with the chaos. Like, goes with the flow, it's not that big a deal. And I guess I'm kind of in between, because there's a part of me that's like, wow, this really could use some organization. But I also said to my younger cousin of the sisters, I said, yeah, I'm gonna invoke that Polish saying, not my circus, not my monkeys. Like, this be my family, but that doesn't mean that I have to like
Exactly.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
try to fix it. And I felt bad because I told my cousin
Turn
who
your
likes,
CD off a little.
well, my cousin who likes things more planned, she had said to me at one point, she goes, "I kept saying to Mom, we can have it at my house. No, really, we can have it at my house." Like, and I was like, but my aunt said
I
in the
love
end, she
that.
goes, "I like having it at my house," and blah blah blah. But I thought about it. We're sitting there at the table for the dinner meal, and I thought, when I grew up my entire lifetime, we never did that. Like, there was 15 of us, I think, and the house is not that big. I mean, we're using card tables and extra like folding chairs and all sorts of, to make the.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I didn't realize we were doing a formal sit down Thanksgiving. I'm thinking, because this family isn't that formal, I'm like, oh, it's just going to be more potluck. Like, everyone's going to put the food out on the table, and we're going to sit and BS, and we're going to play games, because that's what I'm used to seeing. Well, that's actually more Christmas, apparently, or like New Year's. I didn't realize we were doing more formal Thanksgiving to sit down. And then my grandfather said grace, which was really poignant to me because he grew up in that house.
Yeah.
And then my dad lived in it, and then I lived in it. Like, that family generationally, how so much has been there. And my great great grandmother was very religious, like staunch, went to church every day, read the Bible every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so my grandfather grew up in that house, but he's, I guess I want to say agnostic, like, because it was so heavy handed. So it was really interesting to me to sit there at that table in the house that he partially grew up in, and have him say grace. Like, I was like, wow, that's pretty
Very
wow.
awesome.
So yeah, but it was a very long day, lots of food.
Uh-huh.
Golly. Like, this is kind of how crazy the family is. We had 3 different kinds of stuffing. Because my cousin makes stuffing, and my one aunt doesn't like that stuffing. She only likes stovetop turkey stuffing, and that's the end of the story. So had homemade stuffing, then we had stovetop turkey stuffing, and then my dad's gluten, like, he has celiac, so I made him gluten-free stuffing.
Oh my God.
And then my grandfather, like, my aunt made a decision, nobody knows why, to mix the beef and the turkey gravy together, because she didn't have enough turkey gravy. So she puts the gravy on the table. My grandfather's like, "What's that?" They're like, "That's the gravy." He goes, "It is?" And then he's like, "Where's the turkey gravy?" And luckily, I knew we had 1 can of turkey gravy in the kitchen that hadn't been opened yet. So I'm next to the kitchen. I get up, I go in the kitchen, I throw it in the microwave. I'm trying to, heat it up. And I can tell he is not pleased about the fact that it is Thanksgiving and there is not just turkey gravy on the table.
Damn.
I mean, he's not like throwing a hissy fit, but I mean, I was just like, everybody knew, like, he was not happy about it.
I'm not happy, but I'm tolerating, not
Well,
complaining
no,
too
so
much.
he refuses to put gravy on his food. So
Oh.
like, you have to understand, he's retired Naval Reserve. So I mean, this man is kind of like a little regimented, and So I get up in the kitchen, I'm whipping it up, and then he's like, and after about a minute or so, mind you, it takes a couple minutes to heat the gravy. I've been standing in the kitchen, and I'm kind of like, can't this microwave go any faster? Like, I'm not saying that, but that's what I'm thinking, because I'm trying to be fast. I'm the last one to sit at the table. My grandfather's at the far end, and he goes, and I hear him go, well, I guess I'll take the gravy. Like, it's very resigned. And then my aunt's like, Daddy, like, Gary's making some. And I sort of barked from the kitchen. I didn't mean to. I was trying to project my voice, and I was like, Grandpa, it's all right. I'm making some right now. Well, I'm not making it technically. I'm just heating it up.
Yeah. Somebody made it. I'm just.
Well,
So
I make it extra special just by saying you actually made it.
Yeah, so I hurried up and heated it up and then made sure it got passed down to the end of the table.
Don't worry, Grandpa. I got it.
Oh my gosh. But it was so funny because I'm like, all right, if this is going to become the new thing for me and I'm going to go every year, I'm like, at least I'm now prepared. And then my aunt, my cousin, and I at the end had a brief conversation. This is the family that is the test. And I said, if anyone is going to bring someone into their life and share it, this is the family you bring them to. Because this will be the family that either makes or breaks your relationship or your relationship. Because either they can put up with the crazy or are they out.
Oh, Lord. That was one of the things my brother and sister-in-law were telling me, like, Jim should come down. And I'm like,
Did you tell her why?
No,
it's fine.
I have this vision of Damon's face superimposed over that one meme where it's all like the calculus graphics, like around the head or whatever, where he's like, let me think about this. And so like you're measuring and weighing all the personalities and the people and the thing, and it's like,
I have no idea.
Look, it's been 15 years. It might be time.
My mom has met him, and my brother has met them. That's fine. I'm good. There's a special brand of crazy in my family, and
well, I suppose you hauled off a whole bunch of things for 15 years. Might as well continue doing this too.
There you go. Like my biggest thing has always been, and is that for me, I can deal with. Well, not really. Mostly, I can deal with the craziness of my family. Bringing somebody else up in there,
yeah.
Because and no offense, it's one more place where someone needs to sit, and it's already this much room for everyone anyway. So,
yeah,
no,
I completely understand. And as it is, like, not everyone from the family was there at my dad's family get together. We were missing 2 aunts, an uncle, and 5 kids.
Jeez.
Oh, well.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, sorry, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we would have doubled in size if everyone showed up.
For being an only child, you have a big family.
Mom and Dad both came from bigger families of 5 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
All the cousins and that. And what's crazy is my mom had told me back when she was pregnant with me until I was shortly after I was born, she wanted another big family. Like she came from one, she wanted to have one, and then apparently I broke all that shit. So it was like, nope, we're good. I think we lost Jeff.
What? No, I'm here.
No, he's here. He's here. He was dealing with some apparently my video shrank, as I can see over here.
In any case, yeah. So is that it? Should we move on?
Yeah.
Okay,
cool.
That's our personal months of November.
So that's the show, everybody. Anyways, moving into let's quickly move into this. Gary, what's been going on over in the Facebooks?
We got one new Facebook like this month. We would like to thank Hilbert Floyd for liking us, our page on Facebook. And then Facebook adjacent, because they own them, we got new followers on Instagram. We would like to thank the following individuals following us on Instagram. Mikey K0412, Shogun Yan Wolf 78, Sparky Cub, EJF 2005, and Cam Tubbs.
I wonder who that is.
Yeah. So, for those of you that don't know, our Instagram is just basically kind of like a bulletin board re-announcement of each episode as it airs. So, we're not doing anything super wild with it currently.
Not currently. That can change.
It could change.
David,
Yeah.
what's been going on over the YouTubes?
So over on YouTube, we got some new subscribers. We have a Gray, a Ridwan Rockbane, and then a Muhammad Farake. Welcome.
By the way, Gray happens to be one of our patrons. That's my
So it's like,
Sure.
wait a minute, Gray hasn't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? What?
well,
No, he has. We're here. He's here. It's all good.
or there's more than one Gray in the world, and it's not like Outlander, or Highlander, where there can only be one. So, anyways,
there can only be one.
That's not right, but yeah.
Anyway, so we also got a comment on COL488, our Let's Talk About Sex DL experiences from Oscar Orozco Orahel, and he says, "Oh my gosh, okay, what keeps happening with me is that when I used to live in a richer neighborhood for school and have daddies come over to my place, they would start talking about their wives or girlfriends immediately after I made them come. Like, I became their therapist every damn time." Oh, Oscar. Yeah. I've had that experience happen as well, where all of a sudden, like, no offense, I just wanted to nut. Like, I just wanted, and like, we can like have our pleasantries and go on. We don't need to have like the sit down session and like where I pull out the pad of paper and like, tell me how you feel. No, I didn't. I've had that happen on more than enough occasions, and I get it. This is their release, what have you. And during that, after that release, I guess they apparently want to, like, the dam has opened, so they might as well just let it all come out. For some, not all of them. I've had the experience where the guy pretty much is done, and they are quiet, and they get up, and they leave. It's a little crazy. I don't know what's going on.
Prefer this come and goes, it sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, every once in a while, you'll get the occasional one that's, and over time, if you've built the relationship with a couple of them, you will have more conversation, kind of, yeah. But it all depends too, like what they're wanting out of it, and what you want out of it too. So,
yeah, I understand where Oscar's coming from when he says, really, like this was. I agree with you, David. It's like this was one thing,
mm-hmm.
and then it turns into something completely different. It's kind of like, yeah, this was just about getting a nut, like, and that was the end of it. That's all it needed to be, and then it turns into something else. There's a gentleman that a couple of times when he lived in the area, he moved away. Although I think he moved back. I'm not sure, because I got a random message out of the blue one time. Although I might have been related to a holiday. But anyways, he decided to turn around and like just start talking about life and work, and as much as I know of, he's out and gay, so it's not quite the same thing. But there was part of me who was like, I wonder how many friends you got. And as I'm being shady, I was just like I don't understand why we have to have this conversation, but I should know better, because I'm pretty much okay with, people, just wanting to have a conversation and open up. That's fine. I just don't expect tricks to be that way. Very much, although I will say this, the exact opposite is kind of unnerving a little bit to me.
Mm-hmm.
Where, they're kind of like, ugh, and then they like get up and walk out, like hit the road. 30 seconds later, there's like, witchy hairpins in the air. They've just like, I'm kind of like, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I prefer a happy medium kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I understand where Oscar's coming from, that they just want to talk about women in their lives. And it's kind of like, yeah, but I'm not one of them. So maybe not.
Can we, especially after? So, all right.
Yeah.
So, am I doing all of these?
Yes.
Oh, wait.
No.
No,
I was asking
no,
a
yes.
general question.
Yes, he is.
I
Let's
think
go
it's
on.
fair that you do all of these because of what Jeff and I had to do last month to get all the lists caught up.
That's right, bitch. You weren't here.
Okay.
It's not that long. I'm sure you can handle it all.
Yes. So, we would like to thank the following Tumblr followers. Okay. Hypercon, Fat Cub 95, Steve Lopez 88, Thailand Co 87, Wolf Spirit, Adore BBW 03, Baron 3, Weed Bouquet Night Fest Vowera 198, Kanam Prixie, Clem Melon, So Collection Wolfus, Frank Derby, Cat 5 Sprinkles, Universally Collective Philosopher, So Much Sploosh, Rafe Moo Moo, Dylan 9733, I Love Gay Bears, Rye Schechter, LLK 78, Ginger Cub NC, Cool Dom Bear, and Oso Karaji 38. Or Oso Karaj, anyway. And then we also received a message on Tumblr from Mr. Curves and Crevices, who said, "Hey, COL host, I wanted to let you know how much I appreciated the new format now that I have listened to a few episodes. I thought I would really miss the what's going on in Tumblr segments each week, but it has been really great the way you've changed it. I think the focus on our guests, our topics on the show is perfect, and the catch-up show being monthly without a topic gives it much more room to be its own thing. Change is hard, but done right is so worthwhile. Always appreciate your efforts. Keep it up, Chris." So thank you, Curves and Crevices. I appreciate that. I think we all do. As we've changed and as we're like going into hour 2 of this show, I think it was a good idea to kind of move things down and change the formats a little bit. So yay.
Yeah, and we still go long anyway, so
yeah.
Our length hasn't changed. It's just the format.
Perhaps our girth has. But yeah, I mean, I really appreciate that, Chris sent this in because I agree. Like, I think today is a perfect example of, yeah, it's been a month. It's been, 4 weeks, so to speak, since we last caught up on what's been going on in our lives. And there's a whole lot of stuff. But I also imagine there may be some times where there isn't a whole lot. So,
yeah,
we shall see.
We shall see.
In the meantime, over on Twitter, we got new followers at 20JHB, Barak Marcel, Udiria11, IIK7896, Salvo 436133961, HBQD71.
Nice.
So that's catching up on our feedback. I'm not sure about the second part, how this goes.
So since the last time we did what's going on the show, we took a week off because Jeff mentioned he went and visited family. His parents had a wedding anniversary. Was it their 50th, Jeff?
50th. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Technically, their official wedding anniversary was just on the 24th. So yesterday, yeah, 24th or 23rd. I don't know. In the last couple of days, but they had the party at the beginning.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. So because Jeff was going to be gone, and he kind of knows like how to make all the magic happen when it comes to certain things. Yeah. So we took a week off and we did a flashback episode. And I can't remember which one that was now. Because I didn't write it down because I was kind of foolish like that. So everybody got a rehash. Jeff, you had to do a little audio edit update for that, though, if I recall correctly.
Yep. When I was listening to the original version of the show, there was a bunch of skipping.
Oh.
So I had to go in and do some minor edits to mitigate the skipping. So it was fun.
So we did a flashback to COL235, which was almost 5 years to the day, to the week. And it was, "Does your work have the gaze?" was the topic. Well, the title, I should say.
That was back when we had like more sillier titles instead of straightforward titles. So
Well, that was also when we just kind of like got together and BS'd for the sake of like having something to discuss. So, and that's
structured.
Yeah. Then the week after that, we did Military Veteran Bears, which was 486. So we had Drew and Aaron come on as guests, which I thought was an awesome conversation that we had. We discussed their military service in terms of being gay, the don't ask, don't tell policy, how it did or didn't affect them, and what it's like now being a veteran and in a post DADT kind of U.S. civilian aspect, being supportive of that kind of stuff. So that came out on Veterans Day here in the U.S. And then last week we had Hadrian on, and we did a Let's Talk About Sex series show, RDL experiences. The idea behind the show, in theory, was that we're going to spill the tea and talk about experiences that we've had, which we kind of did some of the time. But then in our beautiful way, we kind of went sideways and upways and over here. And
Yeah.
Hadrian got on a soapbox at one point, and it wasn't bad. So if you haven't listened to it or watched it, go back. But we talked about a lot of things. We talked about cruising. We talked about DL, what that's like, some of our experiences, and aspects of culture, change, technology, all of it, which is kind of expected for us.
Yeah.
So, I think that we had a pretty good month, even though we took a week off, so to speak.
Yeah.
In that case. And it's now the end of November, and we're about to move into December, which is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Like how far the calendar's gone.
Yeah. Agreed. It's been kind of weird that like I realized, I have the concert in 2 weeks, and Christmas is in a month, and all of those weird things. So I think, today's the 25th, so it's literally in about a month. So it's crazy to think of that, and that we're approaching the end of 2018. So yeah.
I feel like everybody talks about, or at least I feel like everybody talks about, the older you get, the faster time seems to go by, which doesn't make any damn sense. In that time frame, it's kind of crazy to me. So, yeah. Insane. But, yeah. I wanted to check something real quick before I forget. Nope. Okay. So, yeah, that's kind of that. So, for the upcoming month of December, there's a couple of things. One, we do not necessarily have things officially scheduled and planned. And that's because we got some stuff we got to work with. And this isn't a complaint or anything. I just feel it's fair to let our audience know. Damon's availability is like morphing because he's got this thing called the chorus, and he got lots of practice and a concert. So and then Jeff, your schedule may be changing for work-ish, maybe. Not sure yet.
Well, I'm pretty sure of what's going to happen. I don't know the specifics yet. So
yeah. So we don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks about the date and the time and the topic, and if there's going to be a guest. It's just not quite how we want to do it.
That's what the COL calendar is for.
Yeah.
That's very true.
tinyurl.com/calendar-COL. That's Make sure you spell calendar correctly. I know people have trouble spelling it wrong.
I have spelled it
CALENDAR.
Yep.
-COL. And you can subscribe to that Google Calendar, so when we do have things set up, you can set up alerts for yourself or something. So.
Yeah, we'll post it to there. We tentatively, as much as we know of, we'll do shows the same day and time, but we're getting limber to be flexible, to move into a new time and position kind of thing. Quick side note, for those of you that are unaware, Damon and I co-host and do another series called Cubs Out Loud Drag Race, or COLDR. And that's going to be kicking up next month, believe it or not, because World of Wonder, Logo, VH1, all them motherfuckers crazy. So they decided that they're bringing All-Star Season 4 into the month of December after a one-night only, one-show Holla Slay Spectacular Christmas Queen episode.
Oh, my God.
I know. So,
oh, my God.
We barely had a breather for about 5-6 months, and then it's happening again. So we don't put that in a separate RSS feed or anything like that. It'll come in with the regular stuff, if I recall correctly, at least in terms of the YouTube and that. So if you're not interested in it, you can just skip it. But if you are, you're welcome to come along and listen to us get all super sassy and talk about the drag race competition stuff.
More than usual.
Well, yeah. So that's going to be happening for a while because, yeah, I don't know how many months or episodes or whatever. So we're going to basically be doubling up and doing 2 shows a week for a while, I think.
Fun.
So, yeah, we will see where that goes.
Exactly.
In that case. I think that's kind of all the general news with the show.
Yeah, so let's talk about some dick.
Yeah, that might as well. So, David's good.
And I think, David, you're the one that gets to start.
Yeah.
Yay.
What do you got, David?
Well, it's not really a dick pic, but of all the things I've seen recently, it's one of my favorites.
But it is sort of a dick.
Yeah. Well, kind of.
If you think of cops as like detectives.
Oh, true. Anyway. So, one of my favorite looks for one of our recurring guest hosts, Mr. Fox Barachess, is his cop look. And he recently posted a couple of pictures of him in his cop look. Because he was, they said, I guess he was at work or something along those lines. He said, hey, you're a big guy. Would you be the cop for our Kentucky Innocence Project CSI Day? We have a plastic badge and some toy handcuffs you can use. And he was like, ladies, please. He's got this. And he does, as you can see by the pictures. He's got the shirt and the tie is a leather tie, but still shirt and pants and jacket and handcuffs and aviators and everything and badge and all that stuff. So he got it, and he has a very good thing, and it gives me very confusing feelings because he has a cop and his chest and lots of like very umphy feelings. So
yeah,
enjoy.
No, I completely agree. When he posted this, there was a part of me that was all like, huh? And then there was another part of me that was like, did nobody ask a question? When you showed up looking more real than expected or needed, like nobody asked the lawyer why he has a cop uniform. Like, I mean, it's just one of these things where I was like, I mean, he could play it off technically.
Why is your tie leather?
Well, that part, if they paid it close enough attention, I'm thinking more about I guess he could play it off as like cosplay for Halloween costume type thing, maybe. Right. But the problem is we know him, and we're kind of like,
we know exactly where this came from.
Somebody's kink.
Yep. And it works.
Again, ladies, please.
It's a very nice look, and I'm glad he was able to share it in.
Take your fetish to work, as he has.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
so there's that.
If you can, knock it out. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It's a rare opportunity, I guess, that you get to be semi-authentic that way, I guess.
Exactly.
Or show another side of yourself. So my Tumblr pick is called The Red Knight because that is the name of the Tumblr account. This is a gentleman recently that I found out about thanks to other people reposting or whatever. So yeah, this man,
Hold
he's
up.
redhead.
Is he now?
Yes.
Mohawk, nice full beard. Looks
Oh,
like
my.
he keeps it trimmed, maybe even
Ooh.
shaved down there.
Yeah,
Ooh.
he's wearing like an olive green nasty pig short sleeve. I'm guessing it's just a net
Mm-hmm.
kind of like material, so it's over top of the green shirt that's underneath. I can't tell if if it's together or if it's two different things. But anyways, and that's all he's wearing. He ain't wearing nothing else. So he's got the family jewels on display. And it's funny because the caption just says #me. And I was like, all right, you go. Like, be proud.
Yay me.
And yay you.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's just a nice picture. I was like, oh,
Nice
all right,
picture.
I'll promote you. Whatever.
Nice fuzzy. Yeah, he's
I'd
very cute.
reblog that.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on into the links. So, of course, I'm linking to Gary's video that he made, for one, because that was very sweet of him. Every time I say, damn it, Gary, it's all because he did something super sweet and made me cry. So,
Yay.
it's not because I hate him for anything. Also, something I had ordered before all this shit happened, which I think some people might kind of like, is this has been advertised on the morning stream, and I finally have been getting sick and tired of my belts, so I got one of these Core Essentials belts. The cool thing about these belts, and some of the styles have an extra large that go up to 54, but that's the max length that they have for size.
Okay.
Waist size. But the cool thing about these is, you know how most belts have the belt holes that are about an inch apart?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have holes. They have a more kind of a ratchet system, which allows you to adjust the belt by 1/4 of an inch. So you can get a little bit more precise thing. And so they've got two sizes. Not all of them are in the two sizes, so you kind of have to click around to find it if you need the larger size. But their regular size goes up to waist 44. Their extra large is 44 to 54. But they've got different belts. They're interchangeable, which I think is kind of cool. So you can get belts and buckles in different styles, leather and nylon webbing. I got one of the nylon ones. And you attach the buckle to the end. Well, after you size your belt, which I recommend is like, they've got a ruler on the back end of where you would put the buckle side on, and you find your standard waist size, and then just add 4 inches, and you can cut the belt there so that it's the right size, so you don't have extra belt hanging off. I didn't because I'm fat, and it fits perfectly. And the cool thing is, and because once you've got they've got different styles of buckles, so you can actually, like, if you can buy the buckles separately or even just belts separately, and you can just interchange them between the different styles. And because it's a ratchet system, more of that ratchet system, it makes for a much better fit, and it stays. And then just on the buckle, it has this little lever to basically release the ratchet so you can adjust it. It's super, super nice. I just got it yesterday. I tried using it when I was walking to the gas station. recently, or not gas station, convenience store. They don't have any pumps. And it's quite amazing.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to have. I kind of wish they still had like an XXL for our friends who are even bigger than 54-inch waist, but
Right.
and as I said, not all their styles has the XL size, so you might have to click around through the belts. But you can buy just the belts, you can buy just the buckles. It is a little bit cheaper to go with the combo when you're getting at least your first belt. And it's I really like the belts. So and they've got different styles too. So they've got
Funny.
fashion belts and gun belts if you happen to have a carry.
So it's funny. For my birthday, my mom sent me some stuff, and one of the things she sent me was a belt. And I was like, what is this? What is this? It's not the one you're talking about, but it's a different brand, Comfort Click.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to look and see if it's kind of the same, along the same lines. I'm very curious. I haven't opened it or looked at it yet, really, but it's, It's kind of looking that way. Okay. Well, look. I'll look at it. I had to look at it more, and because looking.
I'll also include their like promotional video about it on the website.
Cool.
Because they got some on YouTube. So those are my links. Gary's got a whole bunch of different links.
I'm still looking at the belt. This is pretty cool, Jeff. Like, I'm really looking. I like this idea. I also like the fact, like, if you buy one belt, they let you, like, they offer you the option to get a belt swap. So, like, if you wear, say, a belt for work and you're color conscious and you don't wear just black all the time or just brown all the time, and you might swap and you want your shoes to match your belt, blah, 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 all that jazz, you can get another color and so you end up with just one buckle and two belts. So it's interchangeable. So you can kind of swap out the pieces. I think it's pretty neat. Like, I'm also very intrigued because on the site, if you scroll down under belts and you get to where it says classic full grain leather belts, it shows you, there's a picture, it shows you all the colors that they have at one time, and it makes me think of the Bear Pride flag. Because there's
I know
black, there's a black, there's like a chocolate milk brown, and then there's, I think, what they call Cordovan or something, which is kind of like a darker brownish red. And then there's like a light tan, a white, and a gray. And at first I was kind of like, well, that's pretty neat. And then I was like, oh, that's just all the colors. That's not one belt. Like, all the stripes side by side. But yeah.
You can also get a belt hanger, so you can hang it, which kind of basically attaches to the buckle part of it, so you can hang it up. It's black, brown, Cordovan, tan, gray, and white are their leather belt colors, at least.
So
they're a little bit more limited on the nylons.
Yeah, in the extra large, they only have like black and brown, it seems, in most of the designs for color. But it's interesting. 30-day money back guarantee, 1-year warranty. So yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
They've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see, 11 different types of buckles. No, wait, 12, 13. Different types of buckles. So you can get like a belt and then just get a whole bunch of buckles and swap out the buckles, get extra belts, etc. So, in that way you can have your specific ones. So if you prefer a gunmetal one for one day, but then you want to go to work and you want more of a chrome one or something, different ones. So,
nice.
Stainless steel, etc.
It's pretty neat.
Interesting. I'm gonna have
they also carry wallets, which just sort of random.
More
I mean,
like
it's
money clips. I'm not
Yeah,
impressed with their wallets.
Yeah, they've got 2 money clips and they've got 1 bifold wallet. But it's cracking me up because in the picture, it's fake driver's license, fake dollar bill, fake American Express, like really fake, like so fake, not even funny fake. And I was just like, I was mildly amused by that. I was like, okay, we get it. None of this shit's real. Like, anyways, Not that I need to be looking at shit to buy. Ain't got no money. All right. So my links are all Netflix. Because I've watched a lot of Netflix in the past month. So instead of watching a lot of series per se, I watched a lot of different stuff, like random. For those of you who happen to remember who John Leguizamo is, he's an actor slash comedian. He probably in gay culture is most infamously known as Chi Chi from To Wong Fu, as in, little Latin boy. So he has a show called John Leguizamo's Latin History for Morons. It's a one-man Broadway show that he did, and they filmed it. And it's on Netflix. It came out this past month. It's really good. Like, I learned shit I didn't know nothing about. And it's so fascinating because he presents it from the point of view that he's a parent, and as a father, he was trying to help his son with a project to learn about history. And that's how all of this stuff comes about. And he does this amazing, like, one stage performance, like in what looks like kind of like a school warehouse classroom type like environment, like set. And he has this, he writes on a chalkboard, and he's very animated. Yeah, you got it. I really recommend you see it. Then there's Patriot Act with Hassan Minaj. If you're not familiar with Hassan Minaj, he's a comedian who's been doing acting and things. He has a weekly, every Sunday, a show comes out called it's Patriot Act, and he picks a topic and then talks about it in depth. And it's really fascinating because the very first episode, he makes a joke about how, like, I wanted my iPad slash iWatch to be the entire set. And it's true because he's surrounded by all these, like, LED screens, including the floor that he's walking on. So he's constantly surrounded by graphics and images that keep changing as he talks. It's such a high-end, like, production type show, but it's amazing the content that he's talking about in terms of specifics about, like, fashion or the Supreme Court or judges or politics or economy. Like, it's just really, really engrossing. And, like, I think it's perfect for probably the younger generation that really wants to, like, be given the information in this style. I personally like Hassan, what he has to say, so I was really into that. On a totally different version of entertainment, the new She-Ra and the Princesses of Power series is on Netflix. So it's a new version of the animated series. I sort of watched it, and I sort of watched He-Man back in the 80s when the originals were out. From Filmation, but this is a whole new redo by a woman who I found out happens to be part of the LGBT community,
Nice.
the head person. So it's very female focused, obviously. It's awesome. And it's the first of 2 seasons, I think, that are definitely going to be released. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I enjoyed binging that. And then on a very adult note, I'm going to warn y'all now. So if you decide to watch Super Drags, which is voiced by RuPaul girls, it's very inappropriate. It's very adult. Drew watched it when he was here the weekend that he visited. We laughed and howled and said, "Oh my God," a whole ton of times because we was not ready for cartoon dangly bits.
Oh my.
Oh yeah. Like you don't get to see like, but there, yeah. Anyways, if you watch it, it's not for children. Just so you know, not at all. It says on the cover or whatever, like adults only for a reason. But it's highly entertaining. It's only like 8 episodes. And then there's a documentary called The Untold Tales of Armistead Maupin that was made, gosh, I think like 2 years ago maybe, but it just came to Netflix. I think it was filmed like 2015, 2016, released documentary 2017, and then came to Netflix this year. So it's really fascinating. It's a story of Armistead, how he grew up. He wrote the books for Tales of the City and all the ancillary stuff. He has been connected to the bear community for a good number of years. His husband, Chris, I did not know this, created silverdaddies.com.
Oh.
as a younger man. So there's a little bit about their relationship. There's about gay culture and history. It's really fascinating. There's a little bit of him doing stage readings. Part of it's from P-Town during Bear Week. So I was trying to scope the audience real quick to see if I spotted anybody I knew. Because I know some people have gone and seen it. But anyways, it's really, really fascinating. And I've never read the books from the Tales of the City, but I'm super like wanting to get the collection. So yeah, now I watched a whole bunch of different stuff. But so those are the things that I watched that I really liked, and I recommend if you've got Netflix and you want to see that stuff, check it out.
Yeah.
And guess what, folks? Finally.
Dang.
Well, we're almost 2 hours. So
We had a lot to talk about.
Somebody's been missing for like a while. Anyways.
No. Not blaming it just on me.
All right. Anyways, there's plenty of ways to contact us to give us your feedback. You can pop over to our website, cubsoutloud.com. Leave a comment on the blog. You can just shoot us an email at cubsoutloud@gmail.com. Leave us a voicemail, sexy or otherwise, at 361-COL-TALK. That's 361-265-8255. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, and, of course, right here on YouTube at Cubs Out Loud in the appropriate places URL. You can join our social entourage chat at tinyurl.com/telegram-col. You can also follow our calendar to find out once we've got everything set in stone. We'll put it up there for you to follow us at tinyurl.com/calendar-col. Don't forget, we got our merch store where you can get shirts like this Generation 1 t-shirt, or Consent is Your Fourth Place sweatshirt, which Gary is wearing at Zazzle.com/CubsOutLoud. You can also subscribe to us. Become a patron. Become one of our bosses at Patreon.com/CubsOutLoud. You can promote us by rating us on iTunes, subscribing to us on Google Play Podcasts, or giving us a thumbs up on Stitcher Radio. You can find me anywhere on the internet. It says Box Set, Box Puppy, Box Cub, Box something or other.
I'm Theater Cub 79 on Bear Stuff and Bear other sites, or you can find me as pup_umbra on Twitter.
If you would like to get in touch with me, just kind of type in GareBear73. Look around on something, see if you can find me.
And with that, say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good one, y'all.
I got my silicone cups.
Ooh.
And the cool thing was, like, I got the notification that it was delivered, and I went to the link because I got this through Amazon. I think they were using their own Amazon delivery service. And they had a picture of it sitting at my front door. So it's like, see, we put it in the right place.
What's interesting is I think major cities have that service. On shipment or delivery confirmation, they're taking photos and uploading it, because Damon's had that for him, because we sent some stuff to him, and that was the first time I'd ever seen it. I got photographic evidence, quote unquote, of where they left the package, and I was like, get out. I was like, they don't do that here.
Yeah.
So I got my silicone muffin. Should test. Kind of put this in my current metal one, compare sizes to make sure they're deep enough. I think fine.
That's one of the things you will have to be careful about. Sometimes the silicone ones are a little smaller,
which is okay. I mean, it just means smaller muffins and maybe more. It's fine.
True.
Well, it just kind of depends. I mean, maybe they'll be taller than.
Yeah.
Like, that's an interesting thing. I'm totally still addicted watching Sorted Food on YouTube, the channel.
Oh, no, so am I.
And sometimes they make certain things, and like I think it was cupcakes the one time, and I was like, those cupcake molds don't look like our cupcake molds. Like, they weren't that different. They were, I think, shorter and fatter. It was just one of the like little things I pick up on like watching. I'm like, huh, that's interesting. So, and then I ended up looking up some German, some British terminology, because sometimes they use certain words, and I'm like, what the hell is that? So yeah, I find it fascinating. I still haven't figured out yet, not that it's a competition or necessary, if any of the guys are gay. But I have a theory.
Well, we kind of know one of them is not, and it's unfortunately not the one I want.
Jamie. Yeah, Jamie is married and now has 2 kids. I found out that he had his son, I think, last year. Barry got married, so I think he may be on the way to having kids. But yeah, so some of the others, I'm not quite sure. And what's more confusing than anything is like they get along so well as friends or as mates, as they say. They sometimes do these like goofy things that I expect gay men to do. Like, it's not homoerotic, but it's like, it's definitely, they are more comfortable with themselves than I guess American males would be in how they interact with each other and goofy stuff.
They're very metro.
Yeah, I mean, well, like there's even one with Jamie that's so funny. I just saw the other day that he was making, what the hell was the competition? They were making something and he got flour right on his crotch, and I mean on his junk. And it's so funny because it sort of happens off camera to the side, but they barely catch it. And then it's like the funniest thing ever because, it's their Irish recipes competition because he's Bono. And so he's dressed in all black with the yellow sunglasses and the hair slicked back. And it's really comical because he looks really good at it in a way. And then like this, he gets the white flour on his crotch. And I was like, well, that's just kind of drawing all the attention now, isn't it?
I'm going to stop streaming.